Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake. A little double intro coming your way. Little Poppy is out of town. I got ahead and pre-recorded some stuff. This is going to be a one-episode week, so please enjoy it. Thank you guys for letting me do all this. Postseason was a lot, so Little Poppy's getting away. For now, enjoy. Can't wait to see you guys soon.
Subscribe.
Hello and welcome to a very special Wake and Jake. Bailey is back, baby, and we're doing the first end-of-year awards, but not your traditional end-of-year awards. We made up our own awards to give out to players that basically we wanted to talk about, I guess. So that's kind of all that is in hindsight. Bailey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. Yeah. Tip of the hat to you. Another season in the books, man. That 18-inning game.
Another year in the industry, and the industry this year was crazy.
The grind's getting to me.
Yeah.
I'm worn out. No, I'm excited to chop with you. We were just saying it legitimately was. How about this? This is the way I'll say it. It was before the show recording, like, damn, dude, it was an awesome postseason.
It was great.
Yeah, normally that's like I laugh. You know, you watch a lot of sports, anything, and they're like, this NBA season, could it get better? And you're like, well, I don't. If we actually did it, I think so. This MLB playoffs, this was the bee's knees, huh?
Yeah, I will say my experience as a sports watcher sometimes is that if a sports moment is too epic or it's just a little too on the nose, I think I have like this weird defense mechanism for like truly enjoying something where I'm like, of course that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I felt that way when it came down to like the Ohtani and Trout final at bat in the World Baseball Classic. Like I was like, it was awesome, but I was like rolling my eyes practically because it's like, of course this is going to happen. And what I will say about this past postseason is I actually didn't get that feeling. I feel like I was really able to just like genuinely enjoy it, absolute cinema at times. It was a great feeling. I think maybe the fact that the team that I root for, the Braves, was not in the postseason allowed me to further enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, luckily my Yankees only led me on for so long, so I also got to enjoy the festivities. Hey, and dude, I don't know. There's just something you're like, okay, Toronto super team, Dodgers super team. It all kind of makes sense there. And then Toronto, there was something that feels right about it. A team that's like been active in free agency, a guy that gave kind of guys second chances. That like they built this internally and externally. That there was something beautiful to it. They played awesome baseball this year, and they got rewarded for it. So that's kind of the goal when we do all of our, is the regular season too long and does the postseason matter? It was like, this kind of worked out this year.
Yeah, you're in a good place when the moment it ends, the Kirk ground out double play when on like an 0-2 pitch, it's like, you got a slow guy up there, double play situation. The first thought you have to yourself is, you got to get Ernie Clement up there.
Yeah. Right?
Like that's not a thought you're expecting to have in September. It's like you can't let that inning end without Ernie Clement coming to bat.
The career leader in postseason hits in a postseason. Forgotten. Sorry, Ernie, you lost. That was nothing. Let's get into the awards, Bailey.
Yes.
You know what? I was debating if I wanted to tease them all. No, I think we'll let the audience drag on with us because who knows what award could be inbounds. I'm feeling pretty good about my awards. I told you beforehand I have a couple that in between I kind of want to see because you did come up with most of these. I wanted to see which direction you were coming up with. And Bailey, this is a little corny, but again, you saw me almost gasp when we talked in person. And I guess this one is more of the straight up. The Innings Eater Award. Kind of, one of your signatures, Bailey, Chad Inning Eater. No Chad on this one. That I want to see what inspired you to put this on the list.
Yeah, it's just, I think we could almost rename it to some extent, and it depends on, what team you're coming from. But I have a lot of respect as well for regular season pitchers.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Bassett would be a good example. I'm not nominating him for the award of Chad Innings Eater, but like the guy who, is like your 4 or 5 starter and maybe is not going to be that impactful as a starter, in the playoffs, but you don't get to the playoffs without this player in the first place. So I think I have a lot of respect for guys like that. That's kind of lately what I've been thinking of when I think Innings Eater, although I will say my nominee for the award was not on a playoff team. They just were munching innings instead.
I think I know where you're going. Well, I say that.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
With all due respect, I don't think you do.
Okay. Then I don't. So because my guy didn't end up in the postseason as well, and the innings just shocked me. I guess keep rolling, Bailey. And we both came up with our own answers. I don't think we need to agree on an answer. I think we can have our own answers. I think it'll be fun if we do agree on one. And the one I will tease for the people that made both of us chuckle is worst pitch of the year. I don't think we lined up on that. The odds, not in our favor, but there's always a chance. It's baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's, 1 million pitches a year?
Yeah.
So something like that, I'm sure.
I have seen the submissions. I won't spoil.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. There's no way your pitch is worse than my pitch unless you chose the exact same pitch that I did.
Yeah, I instantly had an answer because I talked about it previously.
Me too.
That makes it fun.
Okay.
Who is your Innings Eater of the Year award going to?
I'm going with my guy, my absolute guy, the pride of UC Irvine, Andre Palante of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow.
That is my guy.
Okay.
Qualified for the ERA total 162.2 innings pitched. That's by the skin of your teeth to qualify for the ERA title, excuse me. But he's not going to win the ERA title on account of a 5.31 ERA, which I almost respect that more. When you're an innings eater and it's maybe not going your way and you're still going to grind out your, 5 and some change innings per start, and you're allowing runs and you're allowing base runners and your whip is close to a 1.5. Like, I have nothing but respect for that. When your record is 6-15 on the year, not to be a win-loss guy. And I genuinely enjoy how he pitches because he's like one of the weirdest pitchers in the league. His delivery is weird. He throws primarily 2 fastballs, a sinker and a 4-seam, but the 4-seam has less carry, less ride on it than the sinker. That doesn't make any sense, Jake. That doesn't make any sense at all. And actually, what's funny is the one comp I can make for his 4-seam, as far as like this gets way less ride or carry than expected in a good way, so it kind of turns you into a ground ball pitcher, is your guy Max Fried. Like he has weird, almost Max Fried fastball shape qualities to them. And he's just a weird pitcher who managed to throw a bunch of innings this year and just kind of slog his way through. And maybe Cardinals fans didn't love it, but I gotta respect it.
I did not have that. You're right. Wow, $1.62 out of Palante. And tough. His season before is pretty nice. 121, 3.78 ERA. I even remember when he got called up, bouncing back and forth for St. Louis. And you're like, all right, there's some funk here, but all right, maybe we'll be talking about a nice 13-year Andre Palante career. Last year wasn't the season for him, and I hope he gets in the lab, or maybe he doesn't get in the lab and figure it out. You don't see innings pitch and strikeout numbers like that too often anymore. 162.2 innings to 111 strikeouts while leading the National League in wild pitches.
Yeah, I guess that's just the funk element to it, right?
Sure is. Congrats. Let's give a congrats to Andre Palante.
Like we're at a poetry slam where we snap for them. Yes.
Respect your game, brother. So I thought about the relief angle, and there was a couple guys there that played. Mike Vassell for your White Sox, just 44 games, 90 innings. Like that's a grind. He didn't get it. Jimmy Herget, the glitch, ended up with 83.1 innings.
Nice.
In 59 games. So like Jimmy would just go out there and bang it for a couple innings, and he had one of the best Rockies reliever seasons ever. I did stay with the starting pitcher because it just was glaring to me as I was going through year-end stats of, the guys that twirl the pill. And I'll give love to the guys that don't need love because the name I run into is the next one. It's Logan Webb, Crochet, Sanchez, Fried, Rodon, Skubal, Gossman, Valdez, Gallen, Skeens. You may know this, Bailey, but number 11 in innings pitched this year. He was on 2 teams. Zach Littell.
Oh, very nice.
Zach Littell.
Very nice pick.
With 186.2 innings pitched. He ended up with a 3.81 ERA. All the expected stats are worse if you're playing that game. When you see Zach Littell on the mound, I say this with all due respect, and again, the company he's keeping with innings pitched, you turn on the game and you're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe the boy's bop today. He doesn't have the presence that some of these other names do. But, dude, 186 in today's baseball we love that. So thank you, Zach Littell, for your efforts. And getting traded, I think that gets, when we're doing our end-of-year stuff, if you're like, wait, Zach Littell pitched 186 innings for Cincinnati this year, you'd be like, okay, wow, awesome for you, Zach Littell. Because it got spread out, I don't think he's getting the love he deserves, so I wanted to give it here.
Across leagues, too.
Across the leagues, we got similar strikeout totals to my guy Andre Palante. So I mean that's a very enlightened pick. 186 and 32 starts just posting
right
every 6 days,
and it's everything that matters. I know coming off of that postseason, highlighting bullpens and overuse or not getting used. I thought about Brendan Little for a little bit. Shout out. I have a couple Blue Jays coming up for awards though. But yeah, I don't, even if you keep going down the list, I think it was Brian Wu who had this amazing season. Innings matter, and I'm glad baseball has realized that again. Shout out to Zach Littell and Andre Palante, our first ever winners on the program. This is why they come, Bailey. Sometimes we wonder.
I mean, we're going to have to get their addresses. We're going to have to cut the trophy in half. But congratulations, the co-keepers of the Innings Eater trophy, and they'll have to maintain it for the next 365 days and mail it off to the next guy.
That's actually really fun because if we do land on the same guy for something, they actually get the
whole
award.
Thing.
Ooh, okay. These are things that I don't do,
but to split it and send it.
Sometimes if we tell Sam in our office stuff like that gets done, we will see. Today's episode is brought to you by Fabletics. When you live in activewear, you can never have enough. But the good stuff usually costs a fortune, but that's where Fabletics comes in. You get that premium feel and performance without the crazy price tag. If you become a Fabletics VIP, which is simple sign up, you get 80% off everything. Wow. And after that membership, about $60 a month. Okay. That monthly fee gives you exclusive membership benefits, including a credit you can use towards an outfit or bundle up to $100. On the first of every month, they send an email, and you decide if you want the purchase or member credit. A little jakey, I said, okay, Fabletics, new friends, let me get some of this stuff. Got it in, living in it. So treat yourself to gear that looks good, feels good, and doesn't break the bank with Fabletics. Go to fabletics.com/bakers. Sign up as a VIP, get 80% off everything. That's fabletics.com/bakers to sign up as a VIP. 80% off everything. Fabletics.com/bakers. I'm going to jump to enjoyed watching you run the bases award.
Ooh.
And this can mean a lot of different things. Obviously speed can come into the play, hustle, effort, running the bases, good baseball IQ. We've got a couple good first to third guys. The elites come to mind, Corbin Carroll, PCA, those kinds. I went a different route because it was something I touched upon earlier this year. I think it got magnified a little bit in the postseason. An award that he will appreciate more than anything else, I'm sure. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is winning my I enjoy watching you run the bases award. During one of our Aaron Boone midweek episodes we do on Talking Yanks, I was like, it was very Jake. The words started wandering, and it's like, where's he going to land this? But I was talking about Vladdy, those headfirst slides that are becoming a signature Vladdy Guerrero. Body is full horizontal, full hustle. Something about him being Vlad Guerrero Jr., his body type, his hustle levels, something about that matters and energizes the team. And we saw a little bit of that in the postseason. The ball down in the corner that he kind of had no business scoring on, but he did. Teoscar's throw is offline. I love watching Vladdy run the bases, and this is where he gets my award.
I think that's a great pick, and then you're right, it was magnified in the postseason. He had some sneaky like head first slide into home, like just get that hand in there, you know. He had some of that going on. Like it was, and I do agree that it animates the dugout anytime a big guy is running fast. I think that's just a core baseball thing. If the big guy on your team is hauling his rear end around the bases, like that gets the team amped up.
I hate to, zoom out, Bailey, and get heavy for the people. I think it's a core society thing. Like,
yes, sure.
I could go to football. I started going international, and I was thinking about, look at that.
That's the getting the hand in there. That's what I'm saying.
People like watching the big man hustle. So congrats to Vladdy, maybe his most prestigious award.
It is insane how he's still like so much faster than you or I if we were to race him.
Right?
Like, I mean, it wouldn't even, it's just like, it's comical how much slower we would be than him.
I guess they train. Who cares? Where are you going, Bailey?
I'm going complete opposite. I am going scrappy white utility guy who is known for more of the grit and the heart and the hustle. I'm going with Jimmy Knorp's favorite player, Zach McKinstry.
God damn it. All right. It was a good episode.
You thought you could escape Zach McKinstry mentions. You probably heard his name about 10 times in the office today with Jimmy around. But it's like, yeah, I mean, first of all, he was an all-star. You're talking about 2025.
We're talking about
American League All-Star Zach McKinstry. And I mean, just he's a great, like, I mean, I think he stole like maybe 20 bags, but it's more like this is a great first to third on the single, second to home on the single, first to home on the double, like just take the extra base every single time type of guy. And making use of his ballpark hitting, double digit triples. Oh, here we go. Here's some Zach McKinstry base running. Look at that. You got to be aware to see that one. You don't have a great ang on where that ball is rolling away. But yeah, there's some Zach McKinstry base running highlights for the YouTube audience. That is going to be my pick, just sort of emblematic of the type of year that he had. I know he kind of fell off a little bit offensively, as did the rest of the team, like Baez and Green a little bit in the second half. But just an awesome season for Zach McKinstry and the Tigers. There we go. Let's see this one.
Again,
I didn't watch this one. I did watch some highlights.
Throw hits McKinstry, it looks like, which you can't. They should coach that.
They should coach that.
That's an extra base. That's a run. That's Tigers baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Jimmy Nort may have ruined this man for me in general. The amount of times I heard McKins go in the office, the amount of times I heard nobody goes first to third better than Zach McKinstry, and then in the playoffs he got thrown out doing that.
He did do that. Yeah.
He did do that. I have no qualms with Zach McKinstry, and I understand and respect your pick. Congrats. A couple All-Stars.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Couple big name household names in the baseball world.
Who would have thought that category would have brought that home? All right, so we've got Innings Eater. We have enjoyed watching you run the bases. Let's go to... You know what? A favorite category of mine, as my heartstrings get closer to this every day, as do everyone's. Favorite old has made the list. And Bailey, I'll let you lead off.
Yeah, my old of the year, and you could consider it a chalky pick.
Old of the year, thank you.
Yeah, but you could consider it a chalky pick. It was his final year, but I'm going Kershaw.
Okay.
Kershaw was my old. The reason I'm going for Kershaw here is, much to some people's surprise, not really my surprise, the Dodgers legitimately needed this man for like a good 3-month stretch of the year in that rotation. And it's like, that's kind of how they roll. It's, the way that they acquire pitching, they do it in bulk. And so, they roll into the season with like seemingly 8 or 9 starters. And it's like, well, they can't all get hurt. And then they do, because, everything's about stuff. And Kershaw's kind of the exception to that, because he is, in his final year, an old man, crafty lefty, throw at 88 type of game. But he still really good, still a Clayton Kershaw-y enough ERA on the year. And, he had that 3-month stretch right there in the middle of the year where he's in the rotation every day. He's posting, he's getting his innings in, had, his, smaller playoff moments as well during the run. And, I feel like he's going out at the exact correct time because we never saw him be bad, but we know that all the good is behind him.
And for what do we say? Favorite old of the year?
Yes, old of the year, favorite old.
I really like
AARP award.
I really like old of the year. This will, the Michael Jordan Wizards years, which again, if I remember watching a little bit in Lifetime because I was like Michael Jordan and he's the best to ever play. And when you watch Michael Jordan on the Wizards, you were like, oh, this isn't as a young man understanding the game of basketball. I was like, I don't think this is the same thing. It is funny in hindsight, looking back, his minutes played is like the impressive thing. If you go look back at those stats, like Michael Jordan played crazy minutes. I'll get the stats up in a second. That becomes the old man fun fact from that time period. I think Bailey, in his 22 starts, 112 innings, a 3.36 ERA, in this time period of velocity and him, quote unquote, not passing the eye test, because it doesn't, because it's over. Right. And the other thing that I think makes him old of the year is clearly leaning into the oldness with the beard, and everything Clayton's doing this year was like, I am so old.
Yes, right.
I think that makes it beautiful for old of the year.
I fear you may pick a guy who is old but played like he's young, and that may be a different. Okay, that could be a difference in perspective.
No, I felt pretty good about my old of the year. I do have. When you went Kirsch, I guess my head was spinning more that I didn't look into position players more. Like I just, Justin Turner was around this year, and old position players don't exist. That I think I wish I dug through my brain more, but these are our awards. Listeners of the show may know it's coming, they may not. I am going to Justin Verlander, because Bailey, it was over.
Yeah.
He's 42. After, let's see, I believe that is July 18th. So one start after the All-Star break. So we're 2/3 of the season-ish. Justin Verlander had a 4.99 ERA on a San Francisco Giants team that was going nowhere. It felt like cursed images of baseball, that we were going to be doing Verlander did he did that Giants year, huh? After that game, which I believe has a direct correlation with him changing his spikes and going back to the old Reebok cleats, 13 starts, 72.2 innings pitched, a 2.6 ERA for that final home stretch of the season for the San Francisco Giants. Lands at a 3.85 on the year with 152 innings pitched. That is a major league that is more than a major league pitcher, and especially that final 2.5 month stretch. Justin Verlander was kind of Justin Verlander again, and no one has been better except that one Mason Miller pitch that's now goes viral, that 104 on the black. No one has ever been better at Justin Verlander than making a ball look like it's on a straight line. And he has that with his fastball, and then he's still mixing the curve, and you're like, this is Justin Verlander. I'm still watching the amazing Inner Circle Hall of Famer I get to watch pitch, and if you had asked me on July 18th, I'd be like, oh, I was waiting for the announcement, Justin Verlander, this is going to be his last season. We're going to get some big applauses coming off the mound. Instead, we're doing hey, where's JV going? Is he back to Houston? Try the Mets thing again? Justin Verlander, my old of the year.
Yeah, what's funny about Verlander, and I feel like this is true of, late career Scherzer as well, or some of the Chapman, I think is a good example of this is in terms of old pitchers. And I talked about this in a video I made actually, is that the standards of velocity have risen so much, even just throughout their careers, that sometimes you look at them and it's they aren't flamethrowers relatively anymore. But if you just look at it in terms of raw velocity, a lot of these guys are in their late 30s or early 40s, throwing as hard as they did in like their mid 20s, or
Right.
maybe only like a tick or two off, like that's, and Verlander is definitely still like around that category. So yes, when you say that he is, vintage, like, yeah, he's still almost like he was 93.9 this year at the age of 42. He was, 94.1 when he was 30. So it's
Right.
like it is still kind of the same thing. It's not as many innings, but still.
And he changeup was a weapon for him this year versus lefties. His off-speed stuff graded out pretty well this year, which is just, the version of what we want to expect. Like, okay, so he's battling now, he's throwing more funk, while still having enough in there. And I guess for any of the youth that listens to this program, like, look at the difference between Max Scherzer with extra rest. Like, age is so real. Age is so very real. Scherzer could have been in it. Justin Turner, who's another old position player. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's
Carlos Santana, Starling Marte.
Is there a catcher?
Goldie.
There's always an old catcher.
Maldonado got some time, I guess, but I don't know if he'd be your pick.
He did not get old of the year this year.
Yeah.
But maybe next
There's
year.
always next year.
Maybe next year, Martin Maldonado. Today's episode is sponsored by Cushy Dreams. Baseball's over. Sad. Time to add some new excitement to your life. Our friends at Cushy Dreams can do that with their new extra strength Delta-9 THC gummies. Cushy's the best in legal cannabis. All kinds of THC, CBD you can smoke or eat now, and something that packs a real punch. These new bags, 250 milligrams of the same kind of THC. These gummies, 250% more THC than the regulars. They're available in strawberry. Hello. Also, extra savings when you buy a 3-pack. And just, again, a heads up. If you're in the game, these are the big kahuna. So tread carefully, but maybe you're ready for it. Hey, and since you're a John Boy fan, you get a deal on all the THC you can smoke or eat. At checkout, promo code JM25, 25% off your next order. That's code JM25 at Cushy Dreams. Okay, as we truck along, Bailey, you know what? Let's stop teasing the people. It's time for worst pitch of the year.
Yes.
This is why they're here. And again, when this was mentioned, I couldn't believe the being that runs me in the simulation, they had a jolt. I remember. Spencer Torkelson is happening earlier this year. And is like, wow, this looks like what we thought Spencer Torkelson would be. He's mashing home runs. He looks like the righty power threat that had been dreamed of. He is facing Eric Lauer, the soft-throwing lefty that gets, he has quite the postseason moment that gets overshined by way too much, but good for Eric Lauer. But in this instant, Eric Lauer, who in this velo era has been kind of pushed to the side as the last guy in Toronto's bullpen, it's an 0-1 changeup that's just as middle as it gets. And it's just like, that is a horrific pitch. Here's Lauer for the YouTube.
Oh, no.
And it's just as center as you can put an 83-mile-per-hour pitch. It's literally when these guys take, the batting practice before the game and the coach is kind of halfway there. That is the pitch they're replicating. This was it May 12th, May 17th? I can't believe I still remember it as vivid as day, but that's...
Oh, man. It was even worse the second time.
It's shock. It
was way worse.
Really, I had the exact same reaction. I was like, I think we were doing, getting ready for a talking baseball, and I was like, oh my God. So again, brutal for Lauer, but he gets a moment at the end of the season, so I think it's a win-win.
I had this weird obsession. I spent a whole morning researching this and had absolutely nothing concrete,
Nice.
To show for it. But when people say, they use the term hanging breaking ball, what do they mean by that? Generally it's location, right? You threw it middle, right. But I think a lot of times what they might say is the sweeper didn't sweep or the slider didn't slide. And sometimes I think to myself, well, did it actually have like bad movement, or is it just bad location or even, dare I say, bad result? Like probably someone threw a changeup that bad at some point in the season and it didn't get hit for a home run, So, but I will say that looked really bad. I don't think that moved the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't think it was located the way it was supposed to. And I think the result was expected given the process. And
just the Torkelson's breakout, Eric Lauer heading what felt like the wrong way in his career was just like, oh, these are ships passing in the night in the worst possible way.
But Lauer actually had a really good season. He like kind of swingman, and another good example of like regular season pitcher that I was talking about alongside with Bassett for those Jays.
Well, yeah, and like also I hope we stop just straight up disrespecting an Eric Lauer because he doesn't throw hard. A career 4.13, if he's willing to bop between the pen and your rotation, like these are guys that should be getting paid. Like these should be anyways, getting emotional. What pitch did you land on, Bailey? Because there's a lot.
Yeah, this was the one that pitch kept you awake at night. This is the pitch that was sort of paradigm breaking for me, but it's Seth Halverson. Do you remember this pitch? Because get ready for it.
Ball.
So that pitch is it's 103 and it is or is it 102? It's so far away from the plate. It is.
How's that
It is
happen?
insane how far away from the plate. Yeah, that is what kept me awake at night, right? Because here's the thing about pitching.
He's in for the save.
That's true. He is in the bottom of the ninth. He has a 2-run lead, and he's facing Alex Call, future World Series winner Alex Call. And because here's my thing. Like, in order to throw a baseball 102 miles per hour, you have to do so many things right mechanically and train your whole life, train certain muscles and flexibility and movements. So like, how does he do all the things right to throw 102 miles per hour and throw it that far away from the plate? That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me, because, okay, if you and I are in the backyard, slinging it a little bit, playing some catch, if it slips out of our hands, it's not going to go as fast as it normally would if we were on target. So that was the thing. I don't understand how this pitch could happen. Like, I just don't. I got in the StatCast. I looked at pitches that had missed by that much. None of them over 90 miles per hour, except for that one at 102. This is through all of since 2008. And I understand that it's hard to call any pitch that's thrown 102 miles per hour bad. And I also understand that this is the pitch in all of baseball history that was probably the least likely to result in a hit or contact of any kind. I think if you really look at it through all of baseball history, that is the least likely pitch to result in a hit or contact or a home run, however you want to put it.
History.
But this is a paradigm shifting pitch for me, because I just can't understand how this possibly happened.
Yeah, I'm a little shook up, because normally the spike up or the pitch up or the pitch down, you're like, well, that makes sense. They released it too early or too late. If you've yanked it, that makes sense.
Totally.
If you're early, and I guess we see this and it hits a batter, and you're like, oh, he didn't follow through enough. It looks like a normal pitching motion.
Right. Yes. That's the thing. The yank, like, I can understand throwing a yank that bad with that much velocity. It's just like spiking it 10 feet in front of home. But I mean, that is not what happened here. If anything, he's supposedly probably releases this ball too early, but it just goes that way.
That, I don't want to say intentional, but what is that? Okay, you've now ruined me, Bailey.
I know. I've literally thought, I've been thinking about this pitch for months, and I still have no answers to how it happened.
I'm going to text Kelsey Wingert.
What do you know?
Because something's wrong.
Because if it slips, it shouldn't be 102.
Well, Bailey, there's a reason I'm top 5% in this industry, because one of our categories is most random 100.
Yes.
Where Seth Halverson's name popped up. And I just think this is a chef's kiss category for you. And my God, I think when I was looking this up, there was 183 guys that hit 100 this year or something like that. That number could be off. But something crazy, and it's just a reminder that it's a completely different world now. Shout out to the olds again, as always. But I guess, where did you go with this? Because there were some names that popped up that are just disgusting.
Yeah, I sort of weighed the name versus how many times they threw 100 miles per hour. Because, yeah, there are guys that can get there maybe once or twice over the course of the year. And, like, that's cool, but I don't know if that makes you necessarily a 100-mile-per-hour guy. So I needed a guy that did it maybe a few more times than that. And where the sweet spot of name for me personally and amount of times throwing 100-mile-per-hour sort of intersected was with your Snakes, Juan Murillo.
Okay.
A right-handed Venezuelan reliever who threw 100 miles per hour 33 times this year.
Yeah.
More than Tarek Skubal, more than Ben Joyce, more than Paul Skeens did. It's a very... I'd say it's a relatively generic baseball name. If you'd have asked me, like, what team does Juan Murillo pitch for before I pulled this up, I'm like 50-50 would have said Diamondbacks, 50-50 would have said somebody else. So that's just what I think he's the most random guy that was pumping 100 mile per hour this year.
It's insane that these guys just exist, and it's one of the things we've gotten to hide behind in talking baseball in our career doing that is we say, you know your team better than us. I can read box scores, I can watch highlights, I can catch up. Murillo, I think, would have got that because of my past life as a Snake. And they have a couple guys that names all end, like Del Castillo, Maria, like it just it kind of
Moreno
fits the brand there. Just 100 coming at you. Don't mind me.
Even Drew Gilbert's like, woo!
Drew Gilbert, very animated, huh? Remember when he was getting tastefully choked out by his teammates?
It was tasteful, though.
People moved on from that oddly quick.
I like guys. Sorry to interrupt. I like guys, and Gilbert's a good example of this. Of like when something bad happens, like someone throws 100-mile-per-hour fastball a foot above the strike zone. I like guys that are like, well, that was gonna be hard to hit. You know, like I don't like the stoic batters. I feel like G-Man Choi was a good example of this. If you threw G-Man Choi like a really good pitch, he'd be like, oh boy, you know,
like credit where credit's due. Nice, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. I don't think we have to pretend that it's easy.
Where I thought you might be going for a second, and again, Bailey, you are baseball. Young baseball fans love Foolish Bailey. We talk a lot of ball. We follow a lot of ball. We get in the nerdy side of ball. All of it. Hand up, and I'm sorry to my St. Louis Cardinal fans, and this isn't who I'm picking, so it's even worse. Matt Svanson.
Yeah,
I thought his last name was a prank at first. And by the way, the guy 60.1 innings, a 1.94 ERA. So like this guy was quintessential to Cardinals baseball this year. And I was kind of flying blind. I know we gave up on their season pretty early. But again, it's just this weird, it's an episode of Wake and Jake I did a couple years ago. Like, hey, this is the guy in your bullpen that you think is awesome that nobody else knows. And I think all of these guys that came up, Murillo, Svanson, rooting for them next year in the Velo plays. So hopefully they're more involved. I went cop out. I'm sorry. Because of all the performances this October, I already think Will Clines is already forgotten. It's the performance of the year, arguably. Like if you're talking about expectations times situation times result, like the guy had never thrown 45 plus pitches in a professional game. Never mind the World Series. Like, that I don't know. I was at the game, flex. And when Will Klein comes in after Enriquez, which you're like, okay, the young, like I know Enriquez. I know he's touching 102. Like, I was like, ooh, here comes Will Klein. Like, yeah, I know Royals, right? Like I've seen Will Klein, but man, this is tough spot to be in, tough act to follow. And when he put 100 on the board, I was just like, God damn it. Why did we even allow the Dodgers to get this gentleman? And then he goes on. And again, I want to bring Will Klein back to the forefront because between Will Smith, Yamamoto, everything Dodgers, like when the Red Sox won that World Series, like it was the like code you had to mention Nathan Eovaldi. Like that was you couldn't continue the conversation unless you mentioned what Nathan Eovaldi did that day. Will Klein, again, people are like, I don't forget Will Klein. For what Eovaldi was and for what Klein did, which are very similar, Klein's gone. I haven't seen him at any of the games. I see Snell is attendance at LA sporting events right now is unreal. And no Will Klein.
He's everywhere.
No Will Klein.
No Will Klein in tow. He should be in tow.
He should be.
You know what the difference is between Will Klein and Nathan Eovaldi is they won the Will Klein game.
Right, exactly.
That's a difference.
Like that's why Eovaldi gets remembered, which is insane. Eovaldi, it's like we remember you in tribute, like our fallen soldier. They do the end of the Hunger Games night, and they show who's passed us, and it's Nathan Eovaldi. Will Klein, they like already gave him the hero's journey that night, but it was it was 16 hours to the next game, so everyone kind of moved on.
Right, yeah. I will say too, like the most shocking thing about his outing was the strikeouts, because that Jays team, they were not striking out against the Mariners. They were not striking out early in that series against the Dodgers. Like no one was swinging and missing. And then here comes Will Klein blowing it past them after so many great pitchers had failed to do that.
Right. So yeah, it's slight cop out. I have a couple slight cop outs. I'll see if I audible from them. Do you any honorable mentions for 100? Because this one was so the first link I clicked also had minor league guys throwing 100, and I was like, where the fuck have I been? And then I was like, okay, these are the next wave of 104s.
Yeah, I've got. Let's see here. I mean, let's go. I mean, Enriquez honestly isn't a bad one just because he threw 135 pitches over 100 miles per hour. Even though I'd say he's like more of a household name. Elvis Alvarado threw 57 pitches, 100 miles per hour or more.
Big fan.
Grant Taylor was like the only reason Grant Taylor didn't win this is because he was like a spring training hype guy in that White Sox pin a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's guys. There's Steven Cruz, of course, as we all know, threw 11 such pitches. So yeah, there's no shortage of guys who can throw 100 miles per hour in the big leagues in any given year.
That's it's just wild. I know everyone's sick of hearing it, but like the year-over-year changes are starting to get insane. Nobody cares, Jake. We all know this. Okay, Bailey, I let you lead that off, so let me. What do I have here? This is brought to you by Shopify. That's right, Shopify, the best place to start and grow a business. You want to know why? Because we know the early stages of John Boy Media were built on Shopify, and they helped us relaunch our merch store on Shopify. New Slashline site. It was a dream. We brought the ideas. Shopify brought the execution for our new launch. Make sure you go check out our new Slashline site. And what helps make it amazing when you use Shopify is the Shopify Sidekick. And they have a bunch of tools that let you know what's going on with your business and what can help take it to the next level, where people are buying from, reports, editing images, ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. So if you want to try building something from the ground up like us, it's time to go over to Shopify, start your trial today. Click the link in the description. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/bakers if you're ready to leave the amateurs and head over to the big league. I'll go favorite bad player.
Yeah.
And this is tricky, right? Because you don't want to throw bad around, and it also baseball becomes an interesting mix. Like, is it just a guy I like who plays a brand of baseball with like I don't want to say no skill set, or is it someone that clearly does something but everything else they're not good at? This is where, again, I don't love my pick, but I just had to talk about this guy before the episode was over. Even I could smell Beebs' baseball spidey sense tickling in because we didn't have the right defensive category. I'm going to go Denzel Clark. Third base and center field evoke a certain different emotion out of me when it comes to baseball. Denzel Clark made not like a prisoner of the moment reaction. He made two of the best center field catches I have ever seen. Not like this season or not, of players of Denzel Clark's current ilk, which I hope I'm wrong about, because offensively, Denzel Clark didn't have it this year, and I hope that changes for my Canadian friend. 230, 646 OPS in 47 games. But I don't, like, I had him as a that's crazy. I had him as a candidate for another upcoming category that I won't reveal until we get there. But I don't know, man. I'm just kind of obsessed with this guy. He was in our lives and then out of our lives pretty quickly. Just like the Denzel Clark times were a weird fever dream of this baseball season where it felt. Okay, he made 2 insane catches, I think, back-to-back nights. I want to say Toronto, or maybe it was this series. But people on Twitter had to post, like, this isn't the same catch.
Right, that was yesterday, this is today.
Somehow done that again, and that doesn't get done. So, again, it's a little bit of a circle and a square cutout, but he's currently one of my favorite players to watch, and he didn't have a amazing season.
He made like if you watch I think one of the great that's an insane catch. That might, I mean, my goodness. I'm actually speechless. I almost lost my train of thought watching that. Like you look at someone like Ken Griffey Jr., who I feel like has one of the all-time great sort of defensive highlight reels, like just for his career. Like, yeah, Denzel Clark made like 5 of those catches in a span of like 3 weeks, you know, all-time great, like defensive career highlight reel catches. So, and I like your approach to this. When I was thinking of the category of favorite bad player, there was 2 ways you could go. One would be just someone with like kind of a very min-maxed skill set. So like Denzel Clark, amazing fielder, not a great hitter so far at the big league level. One more Denzel Clark observation that I was having this postseason was that I enjoy the fact that Denzel Clark and Dalton Varsho play the same position and are the 2 best at it, essentially, and very different bodies in order to get to that, very similar outcomes, actually.
Denzel Clark listed 6'4", Varsho listed 5'8".
Right, and there's a BMI difference as well in there. Would be my projection. So I enjoyed that element of it too, is that that they're both so great defensively in center field. My pick for favorite bad player, this might be a cop out because I don't know if he had that many like particularly memorable moments this year like Denzel Clark did, but he is my favorite bad player in general, and maybe not favorite bad player of the year. And it's because I'm holding out some hope for him still, and I think a lot of people are, but like Christopher Morel,
okay,
Tampa,
great pick.
He's not good. Like if you just really look at his last couple years, he can't hit and he can't field. Like that's kind of the issue here. There's not a lot of upside here in terms of like, well, he's really good at this one thing, so if he gets good at this other thing, then he'll be like a really good player. But he's just fun. Like he's just a fun player. He was electric with Chicago. I saw an insane stat that it was like home runs by a Cub before their 25th birthday or something like that, and it was literally just him and just like everyone you can imagine, Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, like that kind of crew of hitters. And then Christopher Morel, and then like the fact that he got traded mid-season last year in that Paredes deal, and you've seen Paredes excel in Houston. Now you've seen they got Kyle Tucker off of Paredes, and here's poor Christopher Morel. Like you think in Tampa they're gonna have it all figured out for him, and it just didn't really happen this year either. And he's shown stretches of just like making a ton of contact and loud contact, and you think, oh, this guy's just gonna start raking and raking and raking. And it just hasn't happened for him. But my favorite thing about Christopher Morel, honestly, is that he, besides just his general energy level he brings to the game, which is the is that when he does his eye black, he does like 2 lines under each eye, and they look like kitty whiskers.
And the bottom one leaks down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I would have lost a few Christopher Morel bets when he went to Tampa. I let out a pretty good like, oh fuck, like they just found their next Paredes. Like they're gonna tap into him. He's gonna hit 40 a year. I don't care about position. Tampa kind of does, and he hasn't been hitting since he's been there. Is there any hope there? Should I? Yeah.
I'm gonna hold out hope. I mean, seriously. I mean, because he has had stretches in the underlying and all the nerd stats where you're like, okay, there's something here. But yeah, I mean, the first thing he needs is a position because he's not gonna play third base. They've got Caminero, and then he's got to be better than Jake Mangum. That's where it starts, I guess.
But does he? Jake Mangum.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mangum Hive. All right. Great pick, Bailey. I love me some Chris Morel. I have 3 categories for us left. Let's see. One's a cop-out, so I'll save that for the sandwich between the two. Let's go Alien Ambassador.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear your thought process. This is one I had a couple options. I think I found my person, but I'll let you go.
Yeah, this is sort of a personality award,
Yeah.
I would say, to some extent. When you say Alien Ambassador, I feel like I should just fully explain that when the aliens come to Earth, who do we want representing humanity to meet with the aliens? And what qualities do they have that will lead them to get along with the aliens? Did you have a similar interpretation? Because I literally just texted you Alien Ambassador.
Right. No, I did not.
Okay.
I had it as the representation in Major League Baseball of who's an alien.
Oh.
But I didn't. Again, I went Jake Bailey brain that I didn't go like Ellie De La Cruz. Like, Shohei. But I can make this work.
Yeah, you can. I'll give you some time to think about it because my answer is Kyle Schwarber.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Kyle Schwarber to deal with the aliens. Just everyone loves this guy. Had a really good year this year. Like is gonna get some down ballot MVP action. Free agent. Like so everything is kind of a lot of is revolving around Kyle Schwarber this offseason. I mean he had 56 home runs like that. I mean that leads the league a lot of years. I mean most years in Major League Baseball. We forget like Judge and Ohtani were like mid 50s in homers this year, which is insane because Raleigh hit 60, and just everyone seems to like him. And he's like he's just a nice Midwestern guy.
Right.
Like he's like no ego to him whatsoever, despite how skilled he is. I like that he's like multifaceted. Like I like that he's like the high school like theater like choir kid as well. Kind of a bit of a Troy Bolton situation in his life. I would just send him to meet the aliens. Phillies have always had like good clubhouse vibes over the years, and he's been important in curating that. And I just hope once the aliens meet Kyle Schwarber, they'll think maybe humans aren't so bad after all. They can do some pretty amazing things, and we're not gonna blow up this planet.
Wow. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber, a great choice. I think he's gonna have a nice free agency, and I think. Obviously, the 56 homers help, but I think he's like one of the most beloved guys in baseball. That's what I've debated doing like a poll of sorts. And I think Kyle Schwarber would win most beloved guy in baseball. I think his name, like I think other people you could be like, I don't know, or I think they're kind of like they can be fake-ish, or I don't like something they do. Like it's very easy to do that with anyone if you really want to. Not Schwarbs. He is just beloved, and this is the last time I hope I say this, and it's definitely not going to be. His body, like, the path that it looked like Kyle Schwarber was on, young Cubby Schwarber, he's built like a linebacker now. Like, he's, whatever he's doing is working, clearly. And he's going to get over $100 million, maybe by a lot.
It's interesting too because it's like you're good and beloved when there's two like storied franchises like Cubs fans and Red Sox fans. Every time they see him, they're like, how did we not tender him, or how did we not re-sign him? Like that's like it's like heartbreak every time they see him.
Kyle Schwarber playing first base and just laughing at himself for like trying.
Yes, right.
Just like, look at what am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do another pitch.
He's not even big. He's like 5'10".
Yeah, it's just we saw him and he was burly, and we're like, look at this guy.
We were like, he's Babe Ruth. That's what we were saying.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make history on this show because I'm going to give out the award to 2 people that aren't that different. And again, because I thought it was a different award, so I'll have the first 3-piecer, or my half can be cut in half. So my initial answer as someone playing baseball who's an alien, it again, there's a lot of options. We think of all the velo and freaks and stuff. I think Corbin Carroll has just gone too under the radar. Because like you said, with stature, like you jump to Shohei, like this guy's an alien, this guy's a freak. Corbin Carroll is slight, and somehow he has incredible pop. I'd say to Shohei Ohtani, who his bloop that went off the wall was kind of everyone's moment of how does he do this? Corbin Carroll does that. Him and Shohei are the number 1 and 2. They hit the ball, and you're like, is that getting out of the infield? And then it's a home run. And you're just like, it doesn't make sense. Shohei, in a way, makes sense. You're like, oh, he's actually this Goliath of a man. Corbin Carroll is not. And he's going to lead the league in triples every year. Like, that'll be the Foolish Bailey video. He's led the triples the last 3 seasons. Obviously, the ballpark helps him out there, but 31 homers this year. And I was going with the just his calm, cool, and composed personality is kind of like aliens studied a human, and we're like, we want to keep him a little under the radar. That's Corbin Carroll. So he gets half my award. And then someone who's actually not too dissimilar, but I think from the outside world is that for your profile of the award, while also touching similar baseball notes, I would go PCA. PCA for a young man is the most like clear-headed thinking person I have met, which just kind of doesn't make sense when we were all introduced to the dyed blue head, one piercing down that you're like, who is this cat? Like, what movie does he think he's in? He is the opposite of that personality, but I think that helps him relate to the aliens. And then when the aliens ask about his baseball prowess, it's like, well, I'm, maybe the best defensive player. I might be the fastest guy, and I have some of the most power in the league. And the aliens would be like, oh, nice to meet you.
Yes, they'd be like, oh, they're like, this white boy has a little bit of flavor to him. We haven't seen these among the baseball ranks.
Remind me of that joke when we're done recording, Beeps, because I will make Foolish Bailey laugh, but I don't think it's appropriate for the air. Okay. For the people that like when Bailey is here with us, I think that those 10 minutes are why. some alien confusion, and then how we got there. Arena Club, if you're ready to up your collection or get started, Arena Club's original slab packs bring the thrill of ripping packs combined with the power to buy, sell, trade all in one place. Arena Club makes it easy to chase grails, flip slabs, and keep your collection growing with the cards you love. With slab packs, you can rip a wide range of packs starting at $25 and up. Every pack has grails that are at least 20x the price of the pack. Once you open your pack, you get the excitement of seeing what you pulled instantly. Each slab is added to your showroom immediately and available for listing in auction, trading, or simply showcasing. With every slab pack, Arena Club will make you an instant offer for your card based on market value. That's right. No guessing, no waiting. You'll get an instant offer for an estimated fair market value. Accept it on the spot. Simple, fast, and risk-free. And right now, you get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/WakeandJake and use code WakeandJake. Okay, final 2. This one was one of mine, and I feel like your answer is going to be so much better, but I ran the gambit. This one is late night text. Who on the West Coast is doing something that you're texting your baseball people in your life, and you're like, you got to check this MFer out. I bopped around, and if I was being real with myself with this award, it's Cal Raleigh, and with you on the program, I owe everyone an apology. Will they keep it going throughout the season? I tried to fade the fade, and boy, he did not. And it was just constant. Like, Eugenio Suarez came to mind for me, but it was funny. A lot of his massive games were massive games that, like, in, night out, Gino wasn't a fantastic watch. But Cal Raleigh, it seemingly was. Like, every time that the MLB Network game was Mariners or whatever he did, a catcher had never done this. He has a big butt. Cal Raleigh is my pick.
I mean, it's a great pick. It's a chalk pick. I will say, like, just to be specific, the late night text is you're watching baseball late at night, and this is a West Coast player. We're East Coast guys.
Yes.
And I, I've had, like, for a while there, my most watched West Coast team was the Angels, because if Ohtani and Trout were in the lineup, like that was the game I was going to put it on. This year, I would say probably Mariners were my most watched West Coast team. Like if the Mariners are in a game, like I'm flipping to that. It's probably a close game. It's probably gonna be a fun one. So Jorge Polanco was considered for this award, but I'm gonna go a little more chalky than that, because I mean, the guy that I really wanted to text people about and tune in to watch his at bats, Nick Kurtz out there in Sacramento.
Great pick. Great pick.
I mean, the 4-homer game against the Astros, some of the tape measure shots. When you hit a tape measure shot in a minor league stadium, it looks different. You know what I mean? Like, because it not only does it leave the stadium, it leaves the stadium by like 100 feet. You know, and it goes into parts where people have like parked their cars or like trying to run a business here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's where the ball goes, and that's where he was hitting the ball with authority, and it just went on and on all summer. He reminded me a lot of Yordan Alvarez's rookie year, where this guy just started by putting up insane numbers in AAA, and you just bring him up to the majors for 100 some odd games, and he keeps on doing it and keeps on doing it on his way to rookie of the year for sure. But yeah, Nick Kurtz, the big Amish, was my late night text.
It's a great pick. I think those in the baseball world do know, but at the same time, you don't. Like how amazing that rookie year is, and like, you would be able to speak on it better than me, but if you post those numbers as a rookie, a 22-year-old rookie, the career trajectory is insane. And it's almost hard to fall off from that. I know, our A's fans would want me to knock on wood, but like guys that do that don't fall off.
Yeah, something catastrophic has to happen for them to not become like perennial all-stars.
Is he the number one first baseman heading into next year?
It's got to be up for consideration. I mean, we'll see. I do my foolish 50 going in the spring, and he will be considered for that, I would have to say.
Good number 50 slot, Bailey.
He may be better than that, though.
Oh,
I know. That's the problem. He can't be clickbaity if he's too good.
Yeah, put a Yankee there. Volpe. Why'd you laugh? Bailey, our final category, and again, this was one that I needed to see a little bit of your sauce to see which direction you're taking this. The final award will be different, but we like it.
We like it.
Different, but we like it. And I will tell everyone, when you do comment on this episode, give us some award ideas for next year, and we'll go through the episode, and I'm sure a couple will catch our eye. So different, but we liked it.
So I will say, because I did come up with the majority of these, that when I came up with the awards, most of the time I thought of, here's a good award category, and then I had to decide, well, what player do I want to give it to? Right. This one I kind of cheated because I worked backwards, because I was like, well, I like what this player did.
Okay.
It was different, but I liked it. So I just kind of wanted to give them an award and at least talk about them.
Yeah.
We may actually end up saying the same player, just because it was, at least by my brain, so obvious to me in terms of a player that sort of like changed up their profile in a good way. But I'm giving this award to Bryce Terang.
Okay.
Just because he did, I think what people like, I don't know how to describe it, but batting is a trade-off, right? You can go for contact quality or you can go for contact quantity. And what a lot of these guys are trying to do is just find like the right mix for them. And I think it's different for everybody, like how much contact should I try to make versus how hard should I try to hit the baseball? And for Terang, he reached a point of maximized contact quantity last year. He became known as sort of this like bat control, doesn't strike out a bunch, doesn't hit for much pop type of guy, just put the ball in play, run, steal 50 bases, what have you. And that's what he was. And then this year, I don't know if it was, the hitting coach that got in his ear. I don't know if this was a conscientious decision on his part, but he said, I'm just going to swing it as hard as I can. Like his bat speed increase is unbelievable. I mean, he added, he was at 66.2 miles per hour in 2024. This year he's 70.7. So he's closer to an average-ish like bat speed. Barrel rate is about average, and as a result, like he hits 18 homers. He's still hitting for average. He's actually hitting for a better average because he's hitting the ball harder and getting, better BABIP. And yeah, I mean, he just he goes from being in a below average hitter to an above average hitter, who's like also a good defensive middle infielder and just a very valuable player for the Brewers. And you know, yeah, he traded off some contact quantity for that, like he struck out more, but he also walked more because people had to be a little bit of afraid of the Bryce Terang bat.
He's a good pick. It crossed my mind for a second. I tapped out on him just because in my head I have created a beautiful Midwest Bryce Terang, Nico Horner rivalry of just, you know, we lead with the glove, yet we do other things as well. And Bryce Terang came to the office once, flex. And I remember when he was coming in, I was like, I think I got to watch a little more Bryce Terang. Just like I want to pay my respects to him properly. And this was before last year. And I was like, his home runs were majestic. And it was funny when you looked at the stat line, you were like, you know, this is, again, if you watch Nico Horner's home runs, they kind of fit Nico Horner, whereas Bryce Terang's homers did not fit Bryce Terang. So when he came to the office, I said something like, I was like, dude, when you get one, like you piss on it. And he was like, don't talk to me. Just here for the PR team. But he took that to another level this year. He's different, but I like him.
Yeah, it was different, but I liked it.
Okay, I feel good with where I landed on this one. Alejandro Kirk feels like he always comes up. Look at that. It's just fluid and through the zone.
I mean, I was even looking last year at some of his bat speed stuff. Like, he had swings where he had very high bat speed even last year, you know, so it really does show to some extent, like how much of it was a conscientious choice,
right,
you know, or, you know, maybe at the Brewers direction, maybe at his own personal direction. But it's like, yeah, when you have that potential to do that, I kind of want to see you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mentally struggled with this one a little bit. I felt like pitchers were too easy just because, like, if they have one pitch or they throw from like, I don't know. It felt like that was the easy route. Offensively, you started stumbling into, like, you know, Alejandro Kirk comes up that I feel like he could win this award the next 8 years and no one could have a qualm with it. I decided to stay at home with it. Because it was different. I did like it, and I feel like we've already moved on because Yankee fans are trying to figure out their offseason without this guy. I'm going Trent Grisham. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. The calm, cool, composed aspect of it was insane. He also, during the regular season, he had a handful of clutch home runs that it was like, is he having one of the most clutch seasons ever in Yankee history? Maybe dramatic in the moment. He ends up having a tough postseason, couple bad matchups that now Yankees are already like, oh, well, qualifying offer, hope he doesn't accept. Let's move on, sign Belly and keep it rolling. That it's pretty unfair to Trent, that I think. And the other thing that just has been in my brain, because I did a whole, after the season, I was looking at the Yankees lineup and I was like, Judge didn't have a Robin to his Batman, really. Like, Stanton kind of did it for half the season. Belly was consistent. Trent was consistent. Ben Rice was kind of consistent. But I just looked at the page, and it felt like everyone hit 240 with a 330 on base. And I was like, what is that really? Because the postseason results didn't tell me a lot. The number that I don't think I'll be able to shake. Trent hit 34 home runs, 9 doubles.
Wow. Wait, really?
Yes, Bailey. Yes, that's the reaction I wanted.
That's insane.
It's insane, Bailey.
Wait, okay. This is there's gonna need to be a stat head on this. There's something with this ratio here that's crazy.
I'll let you cook on it. I know I brought it to the office a couple times. I tried to log into my stat head a minute ago and it logged me out and I didn't have the effort for that. But no, it is an all-time season that I think BBD, I forget if it was you and some of the other baseball nerds, because it's flown under the radar, but it is, in its way, it's a historic season.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a single player that in the last 365 days increased his earnings potential more than Trent Grisham. Like he was a fourth outfielder last year. He was Verdugo was playing over him, and then all of a sudden here's a 30 homer center fielder. You're feeling pretty good about paying a guy like that.
He backed up Alex Verdugo, which I hate that that's become a tagline. And over the 3 seasons previous in 381 games, he hit 191 with a 298 on base.
Yeah.
What?
He doubled twice in the playoffs, October 1st, so that's easy math was the first one. His last regular season double by my looking at the game logs, July 21st. He went July 21st to October 1st without doubling. And he had a lot of home runs in that time.
A lot of home runs.
In that same window. It's not he stopped hitting in general. He hit well. 778 OPS, 17 homers in that time.
I do have the stat head for you now. It is a top, we'll say it's like a top 10, 15-ish ratio to homers and doubles all time minimum. I did minimum 20 homers, but I'm seeing Stanton had a 31 homer, 7 double year in 22. I think the biggest one I see here is Harmon Killebrew in 1964. We all remember this. We were scratching our head. Why is he hitting any doubles? 49 homers to only 11 doubles.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive, but yeah, I don't know. I was in the gambit with Trent a little bit. He did bang up his hammy at one point middle of the season, so maybe there's a couple more that could have happened. But yeah, I was walking away and like the Trent Grisham experience this year, because it was calm, cool, collected in the way you want. That's cool. Like he pimped some homers in a sick way. Like a lot of guys just cannot do that. He's so low heartbeat. His center field play was fun. If there's air under a ball, he's fun to watch. But he's got like no go in him. That's almost frustrating sometimes. And with that double stat, that's kind of the antithesis of what I'm talking about. That like hit the ball and sprint out of the box. Trent literally just cannot be wired that way. But for center field, it's an amazing season.
Yeah, I don't want to fixate too hard on this, but I will say a better way of putting this. The only other player to hit more home runs than Grisham in a season and have single-digit doubles is Dave Kingman.
Yes, that was the other.
So that's, I think, probably the best way to put that. Who hit 37 in 1982.
Dave Kingman. Wrong era, Dave.
I know they would have loved you today. Dave Kingman, you would have made $100 million.
In the 2010s? Oh, three true outcome. Bailey, I thank you. Powerful stuff. Anything spiritually inside of you that you feel like a player that deserved an award that we didn't have something line up, or anything that you feel needs to be out? It's tough.
I'm a closed book right now. Sometimes people are open book. We're gonna close up the book on me, but I do want to say, like, I enjoy doing this. Maybe we can hit a few more of these throughout the off season instead of just like kind of turning it off. You don't have to unplug me and leave me in the closet, until April.
I never want to do that. Yeah, we'll figure that out. I know that's what everybody wants. I'm on Killebrew's page.
Yeah,
a lot of 40 home run seasons. That's impressive.
Yeah, Ralph Kiner's a good page if you ever want to look at that. You're like, because he led the league with homers one year and he had like 29, and then the next year he had like 50. And it's like, well, both times you led the league.
Wow. 23 to 51.
Yeah. What is that?
That
doesn't make any sense.
Those are 2 different seasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Any Bailey stuff we need to tell the people about?
I've got my Foolish 50 reaction coming up soon. I've been prepping for that this week. So, early in the spring, I rank who I think are going to be my top 50 players of the year. And then this is the point in the season where I hold myself accountable, right? And I say, okay, here's where I was right. Here's where I was wrong. I compare it to MLB Network's list, which comes out at around the same time. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Nice, man. Excited. Thank you so much, Bailey. Everyone go follow. Send him love on your whatever part of the internet you use. YouTube, Insta, Twitter, whatever. Thank you, Bailey. Wake and Jake will be back, or maybe it won't be. Goodbye, everyone.